It's not easy being green. It's not easy being green. It's not easy. We're doing the thing.
Yay! All right, welcome back, everybody, to Cat Girl Film Podcast, episode number. Insert number here. Talking about our number 35.
I think we should stop introducing the number because it doesn't matter. Remember.
It matters for me because I edit these videos. Anyhow.
I mean, it matters for the editing. It doesn't matter for anything else.
I mean, I guess. Anyway, what do we get to talk about today, Bryce?
So we are reviewing our number 33 picks.
Yeah,
in our list.
And they're Christmas movies. They take place. They take place in the snow.
This isn't Die Hard.
It's still Christmas to me, damn it.
We are reviewing The Muppets Christmas Carol to start with.
Yeah.
This is your number 33.
Uh-huh.
And a first-time watch for me.
Yay. Okay, so...
Yeah, so heads up. I've not seen a lot of Christmas movies.
Right.
This is not an environment I was raised in. I was not raised around a lot of Christmas movies. I've seen some of them. Like, the most unavoidable ones, like Home Alone and, like, Christmas Story.
I mean, yeah, you live in a very Christmas-esque culture, you could say.
Yeah. So, like, there are some Christmas movies that are unavoidable. But what among those was not A Christmas Carol. Muppet's Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
I know Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
Yes.
I am familiar with that one.
Yep.
However...
Probably the most, adapted book, at least adapted books in and around a holiday that I could ever think of.
It is definitely Charles Dickens' most adapted, and because of that, probably is best known.
Mainly because, as far as I can think of, television shows would spoof A Christmas Carol, and then you have movies that adapted A Christmas Carol. I mean, shoot, we got Bill Murray in A Christmas Carol.
Yep, in Scrooged.
Yep. It's, the most easy book to adapt, because
I think we even got a Jim Carrey Christmas Carol.
Yes, we did.
It was that weird 3D animated one done by the Polar Express people.
Yeah, it's the rotoscoped one where he plays every character, I think. And, I'm sorry, it's not good.
I haven't seen it, so...
I would not recommend it. It is Uncanny Valley to the max.
I'm not surprised.
Which actually, there's only one positive I will give to the movie, though. It accurately portrays, to the best of its ability, the first Christmas ghost.
Yes, which
Past.
I presume is the candle?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
That is able to morph its face and features pretty much as is, no matter what.
Oh, fair enough.
So it's wow, it's as close as you're going to get, because it's almost impossible to actually put into screen.
Yeah. So there's two aspects we have to talk about first.
Yes.
Number one, how familiar are you with A Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol?
Very familiar.
I presume you've read it?
No, I have not, but I am very well familiar, at least on the basic plot summary and minor details of say what the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future are.
All right. For me, I'm very far removed, but I have read it a long time ago as part of my Charles Dickens studies.
Oh, that's fun.
So, I'm familiar, but it has been over a decade. Mm-hmm. So, I apologize. I'm going to try and reference A Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, but I might be a bit, far removed on it.
Yep. Now, here's the other
one we're familiar with. How familiar are you with The Muppets?
Oh, I adore The Muppets. They were one of my favorite childhood memories. I still go out of my way to look up random skits from the Muppet Show.
Yep.
Just recently, they have a revival show where they brought in Sabrina Carpenter, a famous singer right now, for the first episode. And honestly, they have not missed a beat.
Yeah.
The jokes are still landing. You can just keep on bringing them back and whatnot, and they still will make you laugh.
Yeah. The Muppets have functionally become timeless.
Yes.
And one of my favorite gags they still do with the Muppets on all forms of media, they always treat the Muppets as a person.
Yep.
Like, every interview, every segment they're in, they're just like, yep, nope, this is a Muppet, and they're a person.
Yeah, they exist.
My favorites are the ones where they take it super seriously, and it's like, they, like, host Raw or something like that.
Oh
and it's just like, yep, it's a Muppet! They're just there. And every wrestler treats them like, yep, there's not a person below this acting like a puppet man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why and whose idea this was. But every Muppet is like that, and it's always been my favorite, like, running gag of just a medium. Like, that everyone on Earth is just agreed, yep, nope, we treat the Muppets as is. We never pull the person, like, puppeting a Muppet up to talk to them. We just talk to the Muppet.
Yep. Shoot, you have the Muppets when they had, like, their own pretty sizable revival that you could have with the Muppets. In the early 2010s, you had the movies that came out. Shit, they had their own the Office spoof of the Muppets, in which nowadays a lot of people want it back. It actually is pretty funny because like there are some certain skit or at least certain scenes like Fozzie meeting his girlfriend's parents. I shit you not. I love it when people take puppets. It doesn't even have to be just the Muppets. You just take audio from real people that are like in just a random movie or whatever, and then you're just like just having them with Muppets and just seeing like yeah their eyes don't move whatsoever, but just watching them react to like a certain thing, and it's just like yeah, it's not a person saying it, but good lord, just even a emotionless eyes are still far more expressive than almost anything I've seen lately. So. This movie, I believe, came out in the 1990s, in which
that sounds right,
it feels like almost every other year during that time they were releasing a Muppet-adjacent story.
Yeah, the Muppets were huge. They were on a tear during that time period.
Yep. So one of the more famous ones I could think of off the top of my head was the Muppets Treasure Island.
Yep, with Tim Curry.
What was the other one that they did? I know about 10 years later in the 2000s when the Muppets were basically reached their lowest of their lows was the Muppets Wizard of Oz.
Yes, yeah, Muppets Wizard of Oz, yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, there are some funny jokes, but it's just... Yeah, I felt like they ran out of ideas.
Yeah. Which, like, fair enough. They probably should have stuck to certain things, but yeah. It's kind of hard to beat The Wizard of Oz as a movie. Like, it's considered a timeless masterpiece for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of that...
So, Christmas Carol.
Yes.
Right.
I'm not as familiar with the Muppets.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Muppets. I was never really raised watching The Muppet Show. And I have not seen a significant number of their movies. Mm-hmm. However, the Muppets are unavoidable.
Yes.
I am familiar with several of the Muppet characters.
Yeah.
So from my standpoint, going into this, I primarily am going to be judging this from an adaptation of a Charles Dickens novel because of it. While I presume you will probably be judging this predominantly as a Muppets movie.
In a lot of ways, I could do it as both, but yes, I adore just about every character of the Muppets. I'm trying to pull up a list so I can actually say their names correctly because it's been a little bit. So
this is Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
Yep.
With Gonzo playing Charles Dickens as our narrator.
Yep. And you have Rizzo the Rat as as like a surrogate member of the audience. I love every single scene between those two when they're trying to jump from point A to point B to follow along Scrooge. Especially just the banter between those two. Those in terms of like the writing and stuff, this was like a clever addition to the movie.
Yep. So, since we mentioned writing, let's go right into that.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So, this is the story of A Charles Dickens Christmas Carol.
Yep.
As adapted by The Muppets. One thing you're going to have to know, this is The Muppets, so already I'm going to presume This is not adapted 100%, but I'll talk about that more in a second.
It also is a somewhat of a musical, because there are musical numbers in this movie.
That is a thing the Muppets are well known for, is they're doing musicals.
I mean, they literally have a band that's literally called the Electric, what is it? The Electronic Mayhem.
Yes, that's the one where Animal is the drummer, I believe. Yes, okay.
Alright, so, with writing. In your opinion, how do you think the movie did adapting the actual book? From memory, at least.
From my memory, it did a fine job. It hits the main points. It doesn't make any significant changes. And they play things, surprisingly, a little toned down. Because, a notable, if I remember correctly from my thing, they do play Scrooge a lot more, at least in the flashback scenes, a lot more like still the stickler character. Where, opposed to, if I remember in the book, there is like a noticeable turning point, which is his love interest. That turns him a lot more into a bitter person. While they don't play as much into that with the movie. But that's the main difference, I would say. Outside of that, they get most of the main aspects pretty accurately. With, like, some added stuff. Like, obviously, music. Charles Dickens does narrate, but not to that. Not like that. And they add a lot of Muppet gags to the movie.
Yeah, like, they play a large amount of, like, the fact that they are puppets and whatnot, it's like, okay, we gotta find some way to add into the fact that this world, yes, we have humans in it, but we also have Muppets in it.
Yeah, which is always going to be a conceit with a Muppets movie.
I'm trying to think for writing. So, of course, certain characters in the Muppets are playing certain characters within the Christmas Carol.
Yes.
One of them, for example, Kermit is what's the character's name in A Christmas Carol? I can't remember his name, but he's the like the attendant for Scrooge. So he's played by Kermit, and of course he has a son named Tiny Tim, which, believe it or not, I actually think his Tiny Tim is played by Robin. That's what his name is. I almost said, wait, no, his name's not actually Tim in the Muppets. His name is Robin, and he's supposed to be Kermit's nephew. Yeah. So Miss Piggy is playing as his wife because obviously
they wanted Kermit to be in the biggest role that wasn't Scrooge. Which there's not a lot. Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol is almost solely Scrooge. Like, Ebenezer Scrooge is 90% the material, and then, like, you swap out characters. Because it's all about Ebenezer Scrooge's interaction with X thing. So it's him and swap out with someone else. Him and swap out with someone else. So they chose the person who has, like, the most screen time besides him, and it was his attendant. Which isn't a lot, but not an insignificant amount.
No. What about how they changed from Jacob Marley being one person in the book?
Yes, they changed it.
Statler and Waldorf.
Yes, Statler and Waldorf, who are famously the critics.
Honestly,
which does tonally change them a fair bit.
Honestly, I thought it actually worked pretty well for it, especially with how they're supposed to be comedic characters, like they're the critics in the Muppet Show. I actually still like them as is in the Christmas Carol movie. I thought they were pretty funny, but yes, that is not supposed to be how Jacob Marley is. He's supposed to be the haunting phantom of, like, this is what you'll become if you don't change your ways.
Weirdly enough, this is one of the casting choices I would have changed. I personally would have put Sam the Eagle as a better Marley.
That makes sense. I can see that.
So, when watching this, I was like, this is underplaying it, but I understand why they did it. Because it makes the character Marley more comedic, and it makes it more child-friendly. While, if I wanted to go for accuracy of material, I would have went for, obviously none of the Muppets, but, like, of the Muppets, I would have gone Sam the Eagle.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Anything else for writing that you can think of?
I can't think of too many things. Like, obviously, there's a lot of inaccuracies, but it's not like death, because this is a thing that we've said on the show a ton of times. You don't need to be 100% accurate with the source material.
Mm-hmm.
If someone wants to observe that source material, they should just go read the material.
Yep.
The only time I think it's fair to make the argument of let's adapt it, like 100%, is if it's something that's like Shakespeare, or like something that is just a one-for-one moved over.
Yep.
However, there are still materials that change it, and it's still fine. You still gain a benefit from adapting it, because what's the difference from that? Like, for example, like, we've talked about Throne of Blood a long time ago. It is perfectly fine to change the source material.
Yep.
And I am perfectly fine with changing Charles Dickens' source material here to fit a more kids-friendly kind of thing, opposed to a haunting tale that Charles Dickens was more known for.
Yes.
So, personally, for writing, the changes they make to a more comedic tone, perfectly fine with. I think it suits the material perfectly.
Yeah. Alright. I pretty much agree with you on that. I don't really think it would fit into writing, because I'm trying to think, piecing together like all the Muppets that are playing as surrogate characters in the Christmas Carol. I think that would fit more into maybe acting, maybe? Or would that be in production, do you think?
I think it's both. Because I think how the puppeteers portray them is more acting, while the casting choices for the individuals is more production.
Okay. Alright, so let's move on to acting.
Yes.
So, of course, we have Michael Caine playing as Scrooge. This is not his most well-known role of all time, but I feel like if you grew up at least watching like kids movies and stuff like Christmas Carol, you at least recognize him and whatnot and think, oh, yeah, pretty good Scrooge.
Unfortunately, I think Michael Caine's best-known role is now going to be Alfred.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's... The Dark Knight is a very infamous movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is just so iconic.
Yep.
So, and he plays Alfred in that movie, and a very good Alfred at that.
Oh, yeah.
So, unfortunately, that's going to be the thing he's probably going to be best known for. However, we're going to be talking about a few Michael Caine things.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first stop on the Michael Caine, what movies we'll be talking about.
Yep.
And, yeah, he does a decent Scrooge. He plays it very seriously.
Yep. Which, honestly, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because, like, everybody else is, like, you know, they're hammy, comedic Muppet characters. And so, of course, Ebenezer Scrooge is supposed to be very serious, very stern in everything that he does, and then you just have these silly, wacky characters, and he's just like... It kind of reminds me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Where you had the real-life detective guy, and he's, like, in a world filled with cartoon characters of both Disney and Warner Brothers.
The only part that's a downside to it, in my opinion, is whenever the Muppets inevitably ask him dumb questions, and he has to play it completely straight, it does feel weird for Scrooge.
Yeah.
That's just like, I wouldn't think of Scrooge taking that question seriously, but fair enough.
Yeah.
Like...
Oh, man. Now, the puppeteering.
It's the Muppets.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with anything from the Jim Henson Company.
Yeah.
I
mean, this is, like, during the peak of their productions.
I mean, well, even then, it was, like, right after Jim Henson passed away.
Yeah.
So it's, like, even then, like, they didn't miss a beat. Like, they take everything seriously. Everything looks right. I love, like, I mentioned it earlier before, I love the dynamic between Rizzo and Gonzo playing the surrogate audience character and Charles Dickens. Those are some of my favorite scenes in the movie. Just seeing those two playing off each other, which... Even then, they play off each other in the Muppet Show anyway, so...
Fair enough.
I have no notes on that part.
Yeah.
Alright, production. So, do you think every single Muppet that plays as a major character within A Christmas Carol, do you think they played them all pretty well? Especially, like, say, what is it, the Christmas Ghosts.
To my knowledge, so I don't know Muppets well enough, I thought most of the ghosts were made for this movie.
I think so.
Okay.
From what I can...
That makes sense.
I'm trying to recall for sure, because I think, like, the Ghost of Christmas Present, I couldn't recognize him from any other Muppet-related media. The first Christmas Ghost... Oh, shoot, what was he? I think he was actually... I'll actually have to look up what they look like again. But yeah, the last one, I'm 100% sure that they made him for the movie.
That makes sense.
I'm almost 100% sure.
The ghosts themselves,
Yep.
the puppets were made for that, which I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough. They very clearly wanted, when Scrooge is interacting with a character, because he's a real-life person, they want him to interact with a Muppet.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they don't want it to be two real people on the screen, or else it defeats the purpose of Muppets.
Okay, yeah. I was trying to make sure, because I was thinking of the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Yep.
I was thinking, like, I can't remember for sure what she looked like, but then when I looked at her, I was like, okay, 100% this was made for the movie, but also, we will touch upon this movie sometime later, another Jim Henson movie. I'm willing to bet she is a leftover puppet from the Dark Crystal. Because she looks so similar to some of those characters that were designed for that movie.
I see. But yeah, the ghosts themselves, they very clearly... It's not one for one. My personal favorite is still Ghost of Christmas Present.
Yes.
Which, that's my favorite in the novel, and that's my favorite in the movie as well. Mm-hmm. They handle him very well.
Yep. He's a jolly good old fellow.
Yeah, no, and very notably, ages as scenes go along until eventually he dies, because he is the present, he is only there for now.
Yep.
So, they do a good job with that. In addition to it, the other casting choices. I think Kermit is a fine attendant. They get the other rats to be the scribes. Mm-hmm. They play very ridiculously with that. Very ridiculously.
Yep.
Which, obviously it's not like that in the book, so, that's Muppet shenanigans.
Gotta understand, there's gonna be Muppet shenanigans in this movie.
I think a great example of that is the penguin slides.
Yep.
When they're oh, it's the annual penguin slides, and it's okay, this is Muppets nonsense. If you're going into this movie is made for if you're a Muppets fan. Mm-hmm. If you're wanting, a Charles Dickens adaptation, this is not the movie for you. But this is not a bad adaptation still. As I said, if you are wanting Charles Dickens, you're probably just going to read Charles Dickens. You're probably not going to watch a Muppets movie about a Charles Dickens novel.
Yep. Let's see. What about the songs? There aren't very many songs in this movie, though.
Yeah, there's not a lot. None of them come to my mind.
I mean, the very opening number of, Scrooge being introduced, and you have all the Muppets-related characters just singing about him.
Yeah. Because they're singing about how terrible he is.
Yep.
Is oh, he does this and this. It is a very, classical way of being able to introduce Scrooge. It's very, you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Yep.
Where it's just...
I'm trying to remember.
Overly harsh to him.
I'm trying to remember the line or whatever, but whenever I hear it, I feel like they're cussing him out.
Oh, yeah?
Or they're calling him, a name or whatever, either calling him a douche or something like that, or something related to that. I just don't remember what it is they said. But dang.
Yeah.
Alright, so, design.
Design-wise, I think this is a good design. Obviously, they interpreted a lot of elements here from Muppets, but also, they did meet the, Victorian era, sense of this, because that is notably when Charles Dickens was around. He was one of the most famous Victorian writers.
Yep.
Some of his stuff coming from more late Victorian, because I think he wrote in the 1890s predominantly, when his biggest stuff was there. But he has some early things, but Christmas Carol I'm pretty sure is 1890s. So,
that's correct, yeah.
This is very heavily inspired off of late Victorian, which several people would probably know the aesthetic best from, because the 1890s was famously when Jack the Ripper was about.
1888.
88.
I actually just watched a YouTube video about Jack the Ripper, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, so close to the 1890s. Around, very close to that period, and I think that's about when the Christmas Carol came out. So it is very much akin to that sort of style. But they do play it a lot more colorfully. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot more cartoonish, which, like, fair enough. It's a Muppets movie.
Yep.
You shouldn't be... A lot of this review is going to be me saying, it's a Muppets movie. You shouldn't be expecting 100% realism. But, like, this movie already on the tin. If you know what the Muppets are, most people know what the Muppets are. I would say a lot. Like, Muppets is one of the more famous IPs out there.
Yeah.
And it's very famously a IP for children's entertainment.
Yeah, that's true.
So you already have to give it a leeway about, oh, this is supposed to be a haunting ghost story. Give us a leeway that they're going to be telling it a little bit more lighthearted than that. Mm-hmm. Which, design-wise, leans into it. They lean into the colorfulness and ridiculousness of... But also, the Muppets themselves, innately colorful.
Yep.
Very famously, the main one sings about being green.
Yep. At least in the first ever Muppets movie, that's where it came from.
But very famously, one of them is very colorful. So, they need to have the costuming be just as colorful, with the only exception being Michael Caine's Scrooge. Mm-hmm. Which they actually play fairly grounded for design.
Yep.
So, which works into Michael Caine's acting choice to play it very grounded.
Yep.
So, like, everything's operating exactly how I expect it. It's like, yep, nope, everything is operating exactly as the tin says.
All right. So, with all that said, would you recommend this movie to people?
I think this is a decent recommendation. If someone came to me and, like, they were like, yeah, no, I like the Muppets, or it's like, I want, like, a good children's Christmas movie, I would be like, yeah, nope, this is, like, a fine pick.
Yep, this is a pretty safe pick, honestly. Yeah. Just, like, if you want, like, more holiday movies and whatnot, this isn't a bad choice, in my opinion. I mean, honestly, like, when I compare it to other Christmas Carol adaptations that I have relented to have seen over the years, I still think this is one of the better ones to watch. At least it's one of the more unique ones, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
How would you give this movie out of 10?
This is a solid 8 out of 10 for me. It's very good. It's well above average.
Yep.
And I can see this being one of the better Muppets movies. Mm-hmm. So, like, yeah, no, this is a solid 8. It does great work with the source material. It does great work with, obviously, integrating the Muppets into that. And it does all of this in a enjoyable tone.
Alright, yeah.
It's not perfectly made for me. However, I was cinematically entertained for the most part during this film.
That's fair. Alright. I need to use the bathroom real quick, actually.
Oh, and pause.
Oh, yep. Don't do nothing silly on the camera.
What? Where'd he go? He's gone. This is my show now, cowboy. He vanished. It's my game, and he has to end it when he reappears. Oh. Do-do-do-do. Yep.
Alright, whenever I say we're back on, or something like that, and I just pretend I didn't know. I heard what you were saying. I heard what you were saying downstairs,
okay,
and you said, I was like, where did he go? I have a funny idea. So whenever that happens, I'm going to edit it and cut to the point where I'm back, and I'm just going to pretend like nothing happened, and you just got to pretend like just confused on what just happened. Like it was like a weird time skip.
Oh, I was... Okay, I need to go back to the pose I was last hit, though.
Okay, so...
Ah!
You good?
Yeah, no, we're good.
Okay. All right, so now we go to the opposite end of the spectrum of Christmas movies. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yes.
Hooray, we are finally to this fun movie right here, which, weirdly enough, I did not expect it to be this low on your ratings.
Yeah, no, like, it... So, how I do a lot of my ratings is I give likelihood for it to be my number 1 movie, and it just so happened to fall lower this year. But...
Shame.
It is consistently in my top 50, and it might rank higher next year. Like,
fair enough.
It just so happened to fall this year.
All right, so The Thing.
Yep.
From John Carpenter.
Yep.
Where do we even start with this?
So, John Carpenter, famously the master of horror. If you are familiar with any of his other movies.
Halloween, Escape from L.A., Big Trouble in Little Chinatown.
If you couldn't tell, I set him up for this.
Yes. John Carpenter is one of my all-time favorite directors.
Yep.
Probably my top 3.
And this movie regularly falls into my favorite horror movie of all time.
Yep. The Thing.
Yes.
Or at least, it's called The Thing, but it's also a remake.
Yes, this is a remake of the 1950s film The Thing from Outer Space.
And it's also adapting a book called Who Goes There?
Mm-hmm.
So, we got a weird sequence of stuff right here.
Yes.
It's a remake of a movie adapting a book.
Yes. So, we talk about adaptations a lot in this. And we talked about it earlier in this episode.
Yes.
That if you're adapting material, there's 2 choices to go. Either you go as faithful to the source material as you can, or you change it in such a way that it communicates the thing that you're wanting. You have to have a purpose for the adaptation. Some like to adapt in order for it to be as faithful to the source material.
Mm-hmm.
However, that is typically my least favorite form of adaptation. I instead typically prefer that they adapt it in such a way that it communicates an idea or concept. They use an original material and communicate their own spin on it, opposed to just basically stealing someone else's work.
Yep.
And The Thing, for this, it very heavily leans into its era of production.
Yep.
So, there are 2 things that have to be known. There is the original The Thing from Outer Space. We have to talk about that one first. I don't know as much about the book. I have not read the book.
I've not read the book, but I have seen it for sale on bookstores, and I just never got around to buying it.
Yeah. So we're not going to talk about the book, sadly. We normally like talking about the book in our lists, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about The Thing from Outer Space.
Yep.
Which, it's been a bit, but I'm familiar.
It's been a long time.
It has been a long time, yes.
Yeah, but I did not watch it in preparation for the episode.
I meant to, just didn't get time for it.
Yep. From what I remember, the original movie is more aligned with the book in terms of tone and several other aspects. So with this movie, The Thing, we're just going to call it The Thing here for sake of brevity's sake.
Yep.
And then the original one, we're just going to call it From Outer Space.
Yep.
So from Outer Space, it is definitely plays into its time period of the 1950s.
Yep.
Where it's like, the whole creature feature thing.
The other thing is also the tone.
Yep.
It is a base of people working against this.
Yep.
They are unified together against a common foe.
Mm-hmm.
Opposed to The Thing.
Where everybody's turning their backs on each other.
Yes. The reason why is you have to look at this historically.
Mm-hmm.
The original From Outer Space, this is a lot more trying to communicate a sense of community, withstanding. We have a common foe. We have to fight this thing. We have someone to fight. Like, this is definitely made by people who lived through World War II. Yep. There was one definitive enemy that had to be defeated, and we have to all work together no matter what to get rid of them.
Yep.
The Thing was made after the Red Scare, the Soviet Union, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the assassination of JFK.
Yep.
communists are everywhere. They could be any one of us, and they could be trying to overthrow this country. This was the paranoia for the time. I'm not actually saying...
Yeah.
This is just what they believed at the time.
Yeah. Like, this was a movie that is just showcasing what paranoia can do to people.
Yes. And this movie, the original from outer space, adapts the sense of camaraderie that people felt going out of World War II. Common enemy, we know who it is, we have to defeat them.
Yep.
There's no sense of, like, lower kind of intrigue to it. Mm-hmm. And as, like, was said, it's a creature feature because of that. Yes. There is the enemy, there's the monster, and you have to defeat it, you have to destroy it, and break it.
Yep.
Whilst this one, there is the monster.
But it could become anybody.
It could be any one of them.
Yep.
And that leads to paranoia. That leads to suspicion. And that leads to the horror aspect of this. It's not a creature feature anymore. Mm-hmm. It more leans into a thriller.
Yep.
And this does follow the classic Hitchcockian concepts of how you write this. Mm-hmm. Which, moving to writing for now.
Alright, so... Like the original from outer space, this is centered around a team of researchers out in the Arctic, or either in Antarctica or in the northern hemisphere of, like, say, the poles.
I believe this is Antarctica.
I believe that could be correct. One thing I love about the movie is how it begins. It's actually where you see this spaceship that arrives into Earth, but it doesn't really hint at when that was.
Yep.
Because it could have been... say the previous year before this movie took place, or it could be thousands of years in the past.
Yep.
I love the amount of ambiguity that is in this movie, where it's like anything could have happened at this point in time. And then also, one of the other things I love about this movie, which is I probably would say my big favorite, is how they use, like, how the monster is portrayed. One of my favorite things about John Carpenter is that he does have a major belief in subtlety. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, I'm a big fan of Halloween. I love the original Halloween because of how they use Michael Myers, the killer in that movie, to an extent of, okay, let's try not to make him an unkillable force or anything like that. Let's just make him a foreboding phantom throughout the movie until we get to the actual killing part of the movie. That's why I love the original Halloween, is because it's a lot more subtle and more restrained. The Thing is very similar in that, where it actually has to think about when it's going to attack its victims. Mm-hmm. So, yes, that's anything you wanted to do for writing. What's got your
the writing itself? This is also a notable thing that also has to be done with the movie. They give very few hints as to, because it's a big mystery in the movie, but also because they give very few hints, you're in the dark so often for it.
Yep.
And you really do feel the dread and paranoia creeping up. This has a decent cast to it, and I would say they make good use of every single one of them.
Yep.
Every character plays a very important role. Even, like, one of the first ones ever dispatched, minor spoiler, very early on in the movie, a guy burns himself to death. Mm-hmm. And I love that aspect of it because it really pushes in the ever-creeping thing. There is no good way to stop it. Mm-hmm. And I think this is also heavily elevated by the next thing we're going to talk about, which is the acting. Which I want to lead into immediately, if you're fine with that.
Yeah.
Because the acting in this movie is so good. Mm-hmm. I was, like, pointing out A+ movies. This is an A+. Every actor in this movie is so good.
Mm-hmm. One of the immediate standouts for me is obviously Kurt Russell.
Yes. Kurt Russell, who plays, like, for lack of one, our main character.
Yeah. Shoot, he's probably casted in, like, maybe 80% of John Carpenter's movies. Yeah. It seems like he's always in a James Carpenter movie at some point or another.
Yeah.
Besides maybe, of course, Halloween.
Directors have preferred actors, and I can see John Carpenter having Kurt Russell. That wouldn't surprise me.
Well, shoot, he's in Escape to L.A.
Yeah.
Or Escape from Manhattan, I should say. Escape from L.A. is awful.
A few episodes, or it was like last episode or something, we talked about Tim Burton and loving Johnny Depp, and like...
Yep.
Every director has that.
Yep.
Even more episodes ago, we talked about Akira Kurosawa with his.
Yep.
So, like, every director has a preferred actor.
Yep. Shoot, I'm trying to think of other standout actors and whatnot, but literally, I could say that for almost every single actor in this movie.
Yeah.
And actually, also, I should actually say, the dog character.
Yes! The dog acting is amazing!
Yep.
I don't know how they did it! They always... So, a very old Hollywood expression is never work with animals and kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because they're so unpredictable.
Yep.
I don't know how they did it. This is the best dog actor I've ever seen, ever. And, like, there is amazing dog actors out there.
Mm-hmm.
And this dog... I'm not going to try and spoil anything about this dog, but this dog acts their part to a T. They could have gotten an Oscar for this dog. This would have been the first nomination of a dog Oscar since the effing Rin Tin Tin.
But I was going to say, it was the first ever Oscar award show. They did actually nominate a dog for Best Actor.
Wait, I don't think they actually did, but like, they should have.
Oh, no, they did actually.
Oh, wait, did they actually nominate this dog?
Yeah, I know. Some people actually thought he was going to win, but they thought, hey, we got to actually make sure to choose a human so we could be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Such a shame, too, because nobody remembers the first Oscar-winning actor in Oscars ever. Anyhow.
I think the only thing we know about is that Wings won or something like that. Wings won Best Picture.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which is not a good movie, by the way. Don't watch Wings.
It's boring.
Yeah. It also is just a propaganda piece.
Yeah.
But either way, a good movie.
And then guess what? That just means it's a bad piece of propaganda. It bored me.
True.
There you go.
But either way.
Production. I actually have one major thing about production that is actually pretty... Like, not a lot of people would mention. The soundtrack.
The soundtrack is really good.
Yep.
Soundtrack is really good.
Especially, like, so with the thing about with the thing here, like, it literally is, like, there's no name for it. It's just an alien creature. It tries to mimic everything about it to be a human and whatnot, even to the very last detail, including the heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
The main theme of the thing is easily one of my most referenced pieces of soundtrack. Like, if you're wanting to elevate your soundtrack and stuff, think about what movie you're making and try to apply what the movie talks about into your soundtrack. Such as, in The Thing, they're trying to figure out what this thing is. It mimics aspects of human, but it's just different enough to where it's just not right. Like, it borders onto, like, the idea of the uncanny valley.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a human, sounds like a human, but there's something off about it just enough to where I'm scared and you don't seem like a human to me. Literally in the theme of this movie, the movie's theme song, literally is just a
dum.
Yep. And it's like,
dum.
Yep, it's just supposed to sound like a heartbeat, but yeah, it may sound like a heartbeat a little bit, but it's like, no, something's off.
Yep.
It's not right.
The other thing I also want to talk about, the cinematography and editing.
Uh-huh.
Though, it's so good. The cinematography in this, they love their lingering shots.
Yep.
And they make great use. Lingering on something just long enough to be like, is this suspicious? Is this something I'm supposed to worry about? And you begin to wonder about every little thing. And it's only as the movie slowly goes along, the editing becomes a little bit more frantic, a little bit more chaotic.
Yep.
But it starts off pretty normal, then it begins to get to that lingering, like, something is definitely wrong. Mm-hmm. It adds to the eeriness of it. Yes. I love the cinematography for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
Oh, man. If you have nothing else for production, we can move on to design, which I'm surprised we did not even mention it before we talked about the 4
Because I'm going to rant about it in design. I knew I was going to rant about it.
All right, so
some of the best special effects ever put to screen.
Uh-huh.
Some of, like, I might dare say the best special effects ever put to screen.
In terms of horror, it is, honest to God, probably number one for me when it comes to special effects. Because, yes, I know it's all fake and whatnot, but for some reason, it just feels real to me entirely. It's just, ugh.
There has never been, and never will be, a movie with these special effects.
You know, it sucks because... So, I've told you... I've hinted at it before, maybe on the podcast before, but I know I have mentioned it to you. They made The Thing in 2011, which people thought was going to be a remake, but it's not. It's prequel. Yeah, but like...
You've talked about that one a few times, yeah.
What makes me mad is that I saw the behind-the-scenes footage of this movie. They actually used a fair amount of practical effects and stuff, but then... After production was over, the studio or whoever it was decided, let's just do CGI and stuff. Just do it over. And it's like, you have something here. Like, you could have actually finished... Like, you had the props and everything about it. Like, there's makings of a good prequel right there if you just stick the landing with doing practical effects. But no, they just wanted to go really awkward CGI at the end.
You said it was 2012?
2011,
2011, yeah. So
somewhere around that time.
This is when people were going nuts for good CGI, because a few years before this was Gravity, and 1 year before that was Inception. Like, studios were like, CGI is the next big thing. Like, CGI actually finally became good.
Mm-hmm.
So they were losing it with that. Everything had to be CGI.
Yeah.
And that's also why everyone effing hates it now, because it was overdone the crap in the early to mid-2000s, the 2010s.
Well, even during that time, a lot of people were disappointed finding out, like, oh, this ain't going to be a practical effects movie and whatnot. It was like, this is what the movie is most well known for, is the practical effects.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's just a shame, because, like, whenever I watched it, I was like, there's makings of an actual solid horror movie right here. It's just they didn't want to do the practical effects anymore. It's like, dang, I'm actually just sad. It's like, yeah, that's all we can really say.
The Thing.
The Thing.
The best special effects I've ever seen in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
I wish they would do more of this.
Like, it's so amazing. It doesn't quite have the scale that some other movies at the time, like Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back, it's impressive due to its scale.
Yeah.
Of how it does stuff. This one is so good because of its detail. It looks real.
Yep.
And it looks horrifying. This movie sparks the same, like, Lovecraftian fears that we never get in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
Well, in my opinion, literally, this is probably the best adaptation of a Lovecraftian type of horror ever. Like, I don't think you could ever top this.
It makes me sad. Lovecraftian horror is so fascinating because, like, it delves into the unimaginable, but, like, so rarely do we get to see movies that adapt that. And when we do, it's so disappointingly, because it's often not done to a way people understand how Lovecraftian horror works.
Yeah. It missed the mark every single time.
And I don't know how well aware John Carpenter was of Lovecraftian horror, but they nailed it.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the best Lovecraftian pieces of media ever produced.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's the fun part. Would you recommend this movie to people?
Easily.
Oh, yeah. I fully remember the first time I showed my friends this movie. They only didn't like it for one thing, and it was about the dogs.
Oh, yeah?
They're big lovers of dogs.
Yeah.
Like, they literally have a website on the side that's like, does a dog die in this movie? And when they looked it up and it said yes, and they're like, I don't know if I want to watch it. And I begged them. I was like, listen, it's my birthday. Can we please watch this? I promise you will not be disappointed. And they came away with it saying that was one of the most scary movies I've ever seen.
Yep.
And even though, yes, dogs did die, I will admit this was fantastic.
The only thing I can't recommend this movie for is if you cannot stand horror, period, dot.
Yeah.
Because this is a terrifying movie.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's an easy 10 for me.
Easy 10. Easy.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Oh, yeah. Squeeze that lemon.
And you're living greasy. Alright, so.
Your homework.
Yeah. Alright. Weirdly enough, yet again, 2 diametrically opposed movies.
We're very good at it.
Yeah. You are watching Spider-Man from 2001.
Sam Raimi's, yes.
And this is Spinal Tap.
Yep. I would not call that diametrically opposed. That isn't at all.
Well, different at least.
They're different, but they're both, like, comedic.
Yes. Well.
Yes.
How do we end this episode now?
Lemon squeezy.